you ready? Everything is on the table again, so we are ready for a new DIY. Of course, we are going to use the smaller tumbler tower blocks like we already do for a long time. Of course, I always say make sure that you have 4 until 5 packages laying around. Then you always have enough for each DIY. We have my container, and of course you can make your own container with everything you need for your DIY. But the most important thing is of course the wood glue. I have here some paint. It's just an example. You can choose any color you like. And my old saucer with an old piece of kitchen towel which is wet to wipe away the glue. Now we already have the most important things we need for this DIY, and of course what we're going to make. I don't make a lot of snowflakes because I don't know why, but I don't make them a lot. Maybe I did one a long time ago, but we are going to make a kind of a snowflake. And what I'm going to do with it, if it will be a little cupboard, dresser, planter, we will see how this will turn out. So as you already on the table are 5 rows of 3. So 5 rows of 3 because I'm going to make first the inside of my snowflake. And of course, like I told you, I'm not an expert in snowflakes because I rarely make them. So I'm just going to try something, and I'm going to place this not flat on the table, the blocks for my snowflakes, but I'm going to place them straight up. I think that gives a little bit of a more fullness and a more of a high-end look. So we will see how this will turn out. Of course, I hope you are joining me and you are making right now when you see me also your DIY. And then you have at the ending the same snowflake as I am. Of course, with your own twist on it, because everyone has, of course, their own taste. So I'm going to wipe away the glue. I'm going to make sure that I have them in a straight line. Always go back when you do your wiping away your glue, always go back and make a straight line. And if you want to do it really, you can leave it now for a couple of minutes, but you also can place them up, turn them over, and do also the back side. So immediately your surface is clean and you can let it dry. So turn it over, also do the back side, turn it over and do the back side. And here is same. Clean it, turn it over and do the back side, and make sure that everything has a nice straight line. And we're going to give it a couple of minutes. So I gave it a couple of minutes. I'm going to turn all of them this array. I'm going to do some glue over here, place them on top, do it over here, place this one on top, do it over here, and this one, and the last, and you place this one on top, place it on the side, and squeeze it. And if everything is correctly, always make sure that you get your ruler and measure out that you have a square. Mine is 5 by 5 centimeters, and in inches it is, of course, I have to look for you because we use centimeters. It is 2 inches by 2 inches. So again, make sure that you have it in a straight line. Wipe away the glue as much as you can, and we're going to place this aside to let it dry in. So the next step will be 16 rows of 2. So I'm going to make 16, maybe I need more later, but I'm going to start with 16 rows of 2 blocks. So I'm going to do some glue on the smallest line, and I'm going to place them together this way, and we do all of them. That's because I want to have the pieces not too wide out of each other from the snowflakes. Snowflakes. Snowflake. Of course, you see already I don't make them a lot. I can even speak it out. So this one and this one. And then I have a couple of them always laying around so I can build easier further. So over here, and this one, and this one, and the last. And this one we're going to squeeze it. All of them together. You could also turn them a little and then squeeze them. If you like that a little bit, then you can squeeze a little better if you turn them this way. Squeeze it, squeeze, and this one. If you're laying in your bed, you still hear me saying squeeze, and then you know you have to stop watching because then you did see too much. Again, squeeze it, and this one we are almost there. Of course, this one we already did. And now we're going to wipe away the glue and we're going to let this dry in for a couple of minutes. So, and you see now we did the 16 rows of 2. Now we do 12 rows of 3. So 12 rows of 3. And this is all preparation for making the snowflake in one. So you don't have to wait and it isn't falling apart, because that's not what you want. When you want to glue it together, you want that it stays together and not that it breaks off, of course. If you want to be sure, you always have to wait a couple of hours before you're going to start your snowflake building. But of course, I do it a little faster because on my time, I have to make it in a couple of hours. Always, every DIY. So I make all the DIYs because I had a question, how long are you doing over a DIY? But I always do most of the time, if you count it really in time, if I could build it after each other and I didn't had to wait for some drying time, then it's only a couple of 1 or 2 hours at least, of the most, I have to say. So again, we're going to squeeze them. We're going to squeeze from the side. Make sure that everything stays in place. And then we're going to wipe away the glue with our kitchen towel. And then you get a nice clean surface. And of course, don't forget also the back side, or else you're going to stick on your table like this. So I'm going to clean it and do the other side also. So now we have our square, which is of course the 5 pieces of 3. We have our 12 pieces of 2 and our 12 pieces of 3. We have 16 of 2 and we have 12 pieces of 3 and our block. And now we're going to build, and our loose blocks, of course. We are going to start with 4 of 3. We are going to place this one in the middle. We are going to do on the longest line of the block. We are going to place this over here and we're going to give it some pressure. We do here the same on the longest line, and we place this one on the other side against here. And I have to look, I see already, if you are seeing correctly, I see now that this block is really totally out of line. He's not a straight line, he is totally crooked and I didn't see it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to break it off because I can do nothing with this one. So I'm going to do some glue and I glue a new one on top of here and I'm going to squeeze it. So if you have one time the same problem, place it aside and just take another one of 3 and let the other one dry for a little moment. So again, I'm going to glue this one and I'm going to glue this one on this side. And you see already this works a lot better because he has the straight line. I'm going to give it some pressure and let it dry in for a couple of minutes. So now we're going to carefully turn this one, place it this way. We're going to get 2 of the other blocks again. And oh, I don't believe it. Look, if you look this one, he has the same problem. I don't know what is wrong with this box of, I'm looking for if I still can use it or not. I don't know. I'm going to give it a try because we will see this one is not as bad as the other one. So I'm place this one also in the middle. And I'm going to place this one, also glue on the longest line, also in the middle of the other side. And again, we're going to give it some pressure from the sides and make sure that you have them even against each other. And let it dry in also for a couple of minutes. So now if everything is correctly, you have now a kind of a plus size. We are going to get 4 loose blocks like this. We are going to do again the side, the smaller side, we do some glue and we are going to glue this one in the middle of the 1 of 3 and do it in the middle. So again, squeeze it and you do this one on this side, also in the middle of the middle 1 of 3. You do here the same, place this one on this side in the middle and this one on this side in the middle. And of course I have to be sure that I have it really in the middle and I'm going to squeeze it And it's not totally in the middle where I want to have it. He is not really working with me because he goes now to the outside. But it's always something, take your time for it. That's the most important, always take your time for it. But that's with every DIY. And we're going to let it dry in for a couple of minutes again. So we waited a couple of minutes and now we're going to take 4 pieces of 3. So again, what we're going to do, we do on the longest line, we do some glue again over here and we place them against the other one of which is a 1 piece. So over here, squeeze it together. So you have here 1 and it's going through into one of 3. So again, you do some glue on the smallest line and you place them against the one of the piece which is only a 1 piece. And then you're going to do number 3. We place this one against the one of which is alone on this side, squeeze it, and now this one. And of course with the snowflakes I tell you how you do this one, but of course it's only when you like it, but you can change it up with all the numbers you have. You can change it up at your own taste, so you don't have to do what I do, just make it the way you like it. And that's with every DIY, always give your own twist on it. I have to go for this one, it's not really in a straight line. And I'm going to let this dry in also again for a couple of minutes. So if everything is correctly, you have now a kind of a shape like this. I showed you a little bit closer like this. So now we're going to go further with the 2 ones and we're going to glue them on the one which is coming out of the block here, over here and over here. So we do some glue on the inside, on the longest line, so like this. So not on the top side, but on the inside. And you're going to place this one over here in a straight line. This is one. You're going to do here the same. And we place this one on the top over here. Of course I have to look, this is not correct. You see already this one is going down and it didn't need to go down, he needs to go, so we need to turn this way because he needs to go with the clockwise width. So this one needs to go this way and this one is of course the other way. So we place this one on this side in a straight line, and the last one we go to do of course over here, do some glue on the line over here and we place this one in a straight line, and we're going to let this dry in also again for a couple of minutes. So now we're going to get our last row of 3. We have the last 4 pieces of 3. This is what I mean. I don't know if I say it right, at least this is what I mean. And we are going to place them over here this way, and we're going to give it some pressure. We do here the same. We're going to place this. I have to look for that I do it right. Of course I don't do it right. This one is go and it needs to go up, yes, this way. I have to, that's the always with snowflake, you always have to think, because you do it in 4 pieces, you have to think, do I do it on the right way? And this one will be over here, and the last will be of course over here. And we place this one over here and we're going to give it some pressure and feel with our fingers that we have it in a nice straight line. And here the same, and here. And then we're going to let it dry in for at least again a couple of minutes. So if everything is correctly, you have still left over 4, 8, 12 pieces of 2. If everything is correctly, you still have left over. I'm going to start now with a 1 of 2 and I'm going to make this one longer. So I'm going to do some glue, place this one over here. I do some glue, place this one over here. Again, some glue. I place this one over here, and I have another one over here, this way, and I'm going to give it some pressure, of course. Be careful, don't mess it up. And again, press here and we press here, and we're going to give this also again a couple of minutes. So now we're going to get another little 4 pieces of 2, and we are going to glue them against the one of 3. So we're going to do this one halfway, the one of 3, and we do here the same, halfway the one of 3 over here, and this one. And I already decided I'm going to hang my snowflake in between kind of a stance. And this is, it looks like a snowflake, but you also can use it as a home decor piece, because if you paint it another color, it isn't even a snowflake anymore. So this can use for more purposes. So that's the greatest. You can use it all year round. And this way. And we're going to let this dry in. So now the last sets of 2 pieces of 2, we are going to glue on the top side of this one. So we do some glue in the middle, and we place them over here, exactly in the middle. We do here some glue in the middle, and we place it on the top, also in the middle. And this one. And of course, you can go as wide as you like. If you want to have it even bigger, just go ahead, do it any way you like. So again, some in the middle. And on this side, we're going to give it some pressure. Like this. And now we're going to let this dry in at least for an hour. So in the meantime, while the snowflake is drying, we are going to get on the table. And of course, I should have done it already. I make 8 pieces of 2, so 4 over here of 2, and then again another one of 4 of 2. So we have 8 sets of 2. So what we're going to do, we do some glue on top, place it over here, do some glue on top, place it over here. Very easy, because we make a kind of a pole, which will be a little bit more sturdy. If you do only one block, it is a little bit tricky. So again, this way, and this one, and the last. And of course, you can place it on the side. Make sure that you have a nice straight line. Place it on the side, and again, squeeze it. And you see already, if I look to this block already, this one is already so much bigger than the other one, so I have to make sure that I have a different one. So I do some glue over here, place it together, and this one is fitting nicely. So again, place it on the sides, because especially with you, if you're going to make a stand with 2 poles, you have to be sure that everything is in the same size of the blocks. And again, this one. And we place this aside. So we have 8 pieces of 2 glued together. So we gave all 8 of them a couple of minutes. We have now the double side. You see the smallest 2 blocks on the side. We do some glue on this side, place it over here, do some glue over here, roll it together. So you glue 3, and number 4 is the closure up again. You're going to squeeze it, press it from the side. And this way you can make a nice pole and make sure that the topping and the ending are really straight. Wipe away the glue, and again fill in the open gaps, because that's not what you want. So you do here the same, some glue on the tops, over here and over here. And number 4 is the closure up. You're going to squeeze them together again, like this. And you're going to wipe away the glue this way. And we're going to give it a couple of minutes rest. So now we're going to make the bottom of the stands because our two poles are drying. We have 4 rows of 3. So again, you do some glue on the smallest line, roll them together this way and this way. And you can use this, of course, for any snowflake you make. You can change it up any way you like, but you can always use the stand. So again, and number 4, and we're going to squeeze them, squeeze over here and over here. And we're going to give this also a couple of minutes drying. So I gave the 4 pieces of 3 a little moment to rest. Of course, I'm going to turn them this way. I'm going to do some glue on the top side over here. I'm going to do some glue on the top side over here and press them together, fill in the open gaps. Here the same. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to do some glue over here. And we're going to place this one on top of each other to make it a little bit thicker. So this is already one of the feet of the bottoms, of course, of our stand. Now we're going to make a second one. So again, I have 4 pieces of 3 again to make the same feet like I have over here. So you see, I'm just going to double it up. And of course, I do this a little faster or else you get very bored. So now everything is glued together. I just wanted to show you that I only use a simple brand of spray paint. You see already, I already did the first layer because it's not covering very well, but I like paint which is not covering very well. So this is a very cheap brand, but of course if you want to have it totally covered, then take maybe a little bit of a better brand. But I like a little bit that the wood is still coming through. So my piece is drying right now and then we're going to glue it together. But I also wanted to show you how easy it is just to spray paint, because if you want to paint a snowflake with some brush, you are really busy for a long time. So I thought I'd do it easy and I'm going to do some spray paint over it. So you see in a moment the result. So you see already I have now my pieces painted, and of course it's not totally dry yet, but I'm impatient, so I don't have any patience. So I'm going to glue now the snowflake on top of here, and that's very easy. You can glue it any way you like. I place one of the poles on top of here. I'm going to do a little bit of wood glue in the middle over here, and the rest I will do some hot glue. And then I'm going to place my piece in between. Of course, you can glue it any way you like. You could also use some hot glue and just wait until it is dried up. It's also fine too. But I don't know if I make a mistake to use hot glue because I always loving a wood glue. But I'm going to try it. I'm going to see if I'm correct or if maybe one big mistake. Of course, I'm going to place one of them on the side. So I'm going to do some glue over here. And I'm doing some glue over here. And then I'm going to place this one in the middle and totally at the ending. So I have to be sure that I have it on the place I need. And of course I have to look that I have it. And he still needs to move a little, but he already doesn't move anymore. That's what I mean. If you use hot glue, I don't really like it because it sticks and now you have it not completely on the place where you want to have it. So I'm going to try to fix it a little and then you see how it really looks. So you see, this is what I mean, how it turns out. I'm just placed it in the middle and I redo it, because I want to be sure that everything is nicely in the middle, and I have here a straight line over here. So I'm going to let this dry in a little moment and then we're going to turn it around and we do the other side. So now you see a look on the sides. You have one over here and one over on this side. And you see already my hands are really with the paint. I don't know what's wrong with this paint. It doesn't dry. Totally. If I wait an hour, I already wait an hour, but normally he is in a couple of minutes, he's dried up. But this time he doesn't want to dry. So don't mind that. The only what is important is the step. So I'm going to let it dry in for a little moment and then I'm going to do some wood glue on the tops, turn it over and place it on our little feet we have over here. And then he is finished. So you see in a moment the quick impression. Before we go to the impression, of course, I just want to show you how easy it is. Just place them on your little feet and let it dry in right now. This looks a little strange on the outside, but this is just the wood color which is coming through. I don't know why the color is a little bit on the gray side, but we will see. But I use the other side, so be careful with the blocks and how you paint it. If you don't want this, just paint it a couple of times extra. Now you see really the quick impression. And here you see finally a quick impression of my tumbling tile block standing snowflake. And of course I'm so happy how this one turned out. I hope you give this one also a try. Everyone who is new here, I hope you enjoy what you saw. And if you do, I hope you will click the red subscribe button, give me a thumbs up and hit the bell so you will be notified every time we upload new DIYs. For more DIYs, come on over to the description box. There you find the link for the DIY channels. Hope to see you there. Have an amazing day. See you in the next one. Bye.